I'm not going to use the number method, I'm going to use the snapping method. But we also have the option here to change the snapping method. And we can change that to the various options here. We can either snap it to a vertex, we can snap it to an edge, we can snap it to a face. But we'll leave it on increment for now. Now, how increment works is it scales it depending on the grid size, and in this view our grid is quite big, so we don't get a lot of accuracy in our scaling. Now if we come to our numpad and we look into the top view, so we're going to hit 7, that'll bring us onto our top view, and like I mentioned before, we need to change it to orthographic mode, so we're going to hit 5 and that will bring it into orthographic mode. And you'll notice as I switch that, if you look at the grid, you'll see the grid suddenly gets denser with squares, and that's just because of orthographic mode we start to see the flat view of the grid, and you'll notice it's actually subdivided a lot more, or divided a lot more into little squares. And what this does is gives us a lot more accuracy in how far we can scale our cube here. And if we zoom in even more, you'll see it even gets smaller. So depending on the zoom size, we can actually scale our fence, or what will be our fence here. So I'm going to scale it roughly to where this light grey line is, and you just scale by scaling is done by moving the mouse up and down. So we'll scale it roughly to that grid unit there. Now you may notice we can't see our grid anymore because our cube's in the way, and that's going to bring us to our next shortcut, and that is the viewing mode. So next to our mode drop down here, we have the display method, and you can click here and we can change it to wireframe, solid, textured, material, or rendered. But there's also a shortcut, and that's the Z key. And using pie menus, this allows us to gain access to all the various shading methods quite quickly from here. So if we want to see behind our object, we change it to wireframe. That will make our object transparent or semi-transparent, and now we can see the grid beneath it, and we're able to check what's behind it. So for now, I'll change that to solid. So we scaled our fence down a bit, and if you're in a flat view, if you just rotate the camera, you're able to peel out of that quite easily. And now I want to scale it along the y-axis, so I'm going to come and press 3 to bring on our side view. I'm going to hit A to select all, then I'm going to press S, Y, and I'm going to probably bring it to about 4 of these grid boxes along. Okay, so we've got the rough shape of our fence. I might actually select all again, come into our front view, and I just want to scale this down a bit more. So I'm going to zoom in, scale, hit S, and then press X. Let's come and look at it here. We'll come to about there. That looks about right. And okay, maybe a little bit wider again. Okay, we'll come to